Hi everyone, it's Jamie from Copters, Commercial Drone Experts. Thanks for joining me today. What we're going to do is just wait a couple of minutes just to make sure everyone can join. Obviously, we've had a little last minute switch onto YouTube Live. So just to make sure everyone's with us, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes. So by all means, if you still need to get a quick drink or update on your notes or drop me a message while we're waiting for everyone to join, by all means, use the live chat on the right-hand side. Okay, so okay, nice. I hope you're all doing all right today as well. So any feedback of YouTube Live, obviously we've done a couple of these now with the drone regulations. Let us know what you think. If you prefer the Web Ninja that we normally use, let us know. Or if you do prefer YouTube, if that's a better bit of software for you, better platform, yeah, let us know. Give us a shout. Today we are going to be going through the same slideshow that I would have been using for how to start your drone business. So hopefully you've got access to that already. If you don't, some of the team will be posting links to that. Check your emails if you haven't seen that already. Okay. What we'll do is we'll just wait a couple of minutes more, guys, just to make sure everyone's in. And then what we'll do is we'll just fire through and get through this full section, the full webinar, I'll call it still, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end so we can get onto that. Okay. Okay, so numbers are jumping up now. Hi, everyone. Like I say, it's Jamie from Copters. Thank you for joining me today. It's slightly different. We were supposed to be on the Web Ninja, but we're doing it on YouTube. Essentially, we'll be running through the slide deck that I would have been using anyway. Let me know if you've got any questions. Give me a shout using the questions tab. Okay, which I've just been told there isn't a questions tab to start with. Okay, that's spot on. So we'll give it one more minute and then we'll get started. All right. Awesome. Right then, guys. So if anyone is watching this, can you just give me a little thumbs up or a yes if you can hear me all okay on the right-hand side in the live chat? That'd be amazing. Just a little check there, guys. Okay, awesome. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to crack on. Hopefully you've got the slides up already. And then I'm just going to be walking through those one step at a time. Like I say, any questions, get them in. We've got a little tab so we can get them all sorted out for you. And then if I don't actually get through your questions today, what I'll do is I'll reach out to you another day. We'll have a little phone conversation and go from there. But yeah, so if you want to go for the first step, the first slide on the slideshow. So how to start your own business, hosted by myself. So Jamie Corden. I've been working with Copters for just 2 years now. So generally helping people get into this really exciting industry, this really new fun industry, which is super interesting. So it might be helping businesses kind of change their processes, making them safer, faster, or saving them money, which is mainly the big one. But it's those three pillars that we're going to be looking at a lot. Save companies time, save you money, and making processes safer. So these are the main three pillars that we're going to be looking at in terms of drones. So yeah, essentially helping you get into the industry as a B2C option, or if you are a business wanting to perfect one of those processes, is that that B2B option. But ideally, the main idea is getting everyone to that B2B scenario, getting your business up and running. So in a few years' time, we're going to be the experienced ones that everyone else looks to as, oh, do you know, I wish I had gotten that bandwagon earlier. I wish I did that sooner. So yeah, that's me. I'm Jamie. Any questions, do let us know, guys, and we'll go from there. Right, so what we're going to be covering today, we have industry specifics and what drones work well with them. For anyone who's looking, this is now onto page 3. There should be a lovely picture of all the team out by a nice tree. Drone training, we're going to be looking at what that actually entails now. Our business starter packages, which I may refer to as BSPs, so business starter packages. Actually finding the work, and I'll be going through my top tips of this section. So I'll be doing 5 of my top tips, and then regulations. After this, we'll do a bit of a Q&A, what we can. I know this platform is slightly different, so yeah, I'll see what I can do and go from there. Right, so going on to page 4, just a quick poll that I want you to kind of ask yourself. So do I have a drone? How many flight hours do I have? What industry I'm actually looking to get into. So that third question is quite a big one. I have a lot of people that come to me and think, oh, I've got this really nice idea. I want to go into this one. I've got a niche idea. It's a bit different, quite specialized. Awesome. That's absolutely great. But also we have a lot of people of, look, I know this is a really exciting industry. I know there's a lot of noise going on around it, but I'm not quite sure what area I want to go into. And again, that's absolutely fine. But as long as you know the answer, then that's cool. What we look to do is get you a really nice package to get you started and moving off with, and then we'll see what we like doing, we see what we don't like doing, and then that's how we mold you as a business and as a person as well. So when you want to start, when we have conversations after this webinar, it's really nice for us to then have these clear answers in our head. Look, I want to start after COVID's kind of calmed down and hit the ball rolling from there, or look, I've got all this downtime, Jamie. Why don't I start training now? Which is, I think, is going to be the best option. In your downtime, we've got online learning. Do a bit of CPD training and just get yourself to where you want to be. When things are then maybe a little more slack and the restrictions are a bit more easier on what we can and can't do, then we can hit the ground running and get that return on investment, which is essentially what we're getting into this industry for. And then, yes, so in terms of that quiz question, we're going to be doing that on the webinar, but don't worry about that anymore. So on to page 5 then. So for anyone who's interested, you can see my email address there. So jamie.cording@copters.com. For anyone who's interested, please drop me an email. We'll do a one-to-one session. So on the right-hand side of page 5, you'll be able to see that there's a really, really nice review from John West, just in terms of what we did on that one-to-one. So it's a bit of a business plan. It gives you some homework. It also gives me some homework. A lot of the guys here at Copters, we call ourselves commercial drone experts, and we are UAV strategists as well. So we do a lot of research into the industry. We're constantly testing one another, the company-wide. We're constantly doing tests about new regulations, new drones, new training, what that means to our customers and how can we help them. So if you can give us an insight as well, we'll look into that for you as well. So through these one-to-ones, it's kind of okay, what area do we want to look in? What drone do we have? What we're looking at? And then we'll go into a really, really in-depth conversation at what is going to be the best next steps for you. We can either have just the one of these. We can put a few in place to measure and monitor that growth as well. But yeah, if that's something of interest, do get in touch. Do drop me an email. I normally do 10 of these because they do fill up pretty quickly. But yeah, if that's something of interest, if it is busy, what I'll do is I'll just try and book as many people in as possible because people are getting a lot of value from these. So yeah, do get in touch. So frequently asked questions that I get that kind of come to me, whether that's through email, through conversations over the phone, is do I have the right experience is probably one of the biggest ones. Again, I touched on it a little bit earlier. Look, I'm not sure what it is, but this industry is exciting. And there's a lot of reports out there, Jamie, that are saying that this is a growing market and it's a good one to get into. not having any experience isn't actually a problem. So by having a drone that's of a good standard, you're going to capture good data. The better the drone, the better the data. And at the end of the day, we're after the data. That's what we're here to do. It's essentially a flying camera from a different perspective, and it's all about the quality of that image. So if you don't have any experience, you can kind of fall back on that drone. If you do have experience, then we can leverage that. We can use that as something powerful. If you've got a good construction network, we're going to work on that. We're going to play on your network. We're going to play on your ability to speak to people in your industry already, and we can use that to your advantage. If you are like some of the younger guys when it comes to drones, who are generally better at flying, we're going to play on that. But we then know that we need to do more training on the processes, the safety side, because the younger guys are less worried about the safety. So there's all these little things that we can just balance up. We see what we need to progress on and go from there. For a lot of people that don't have that experience, this is why we have our specialist training. So our surveyors course, we've put that together with our in-house surveyor, James Pick, and also an external surveyor. So we've got the best of two worlds. And essentially, we've put that together because a lot of people in the industry are saying, look, I want to get into surveying, I want to get into inspection, but I don't have that confidence to get into that scenario and speak to these people and understand their terminology as well. So it's helping you bridge those data knowledge gaps, and it is all about having that confidence. The drone will do the hard work for you at the end of the day. As long as you're going through the right processes, which will teach you, the drone's going to do the hard work. It's then from then on in, we need the right training to get you into the best situation and best position we can. So next is, do I have the right kit? Depending on what your budget is, depending on what industry you're going into, and I'll touch on this a little bit later, there are better drones for different jobs. And that's really, really simple. There are lots of popular drones that kind of phase in and phase out that are very versatile. But yeah, through conversations like in our one-to-ones, we'll figure out what is going to be the best drone for you. One of the courses is another one of the big ones that comes my way. Essentially with our courses online, for example, if we book someone on now, after we processed it normally takes a couple of hours to process. You'd be looking to get training the exact same day. What do the new regulations actually mean? Huge question. So the regulations have changed massively, but also not a lot at all. So we're now mirroring what's going on in Europe and European law, EASA law. But essentially, it's going to make it better for everyone. So don't worry too much. If you're someone who's already trained, don't worry, you're not going to be disadvantaged. But yeah, I'll be touching on this a little bit later. And then when should I start? Lots of people are on the fence, not ready to take that risk or to take that jump. Don't be that person that comes back to us in a few years' time of, oh, I was looking at it, but I didn't end up doing it, because the speed of the return on investment that a lot of the guys are doing, as soon as we get that conveyor belt of work going, as soon as you're doing those outbound calls and you're getting the work in, we're laughing. This is such an interesting, fun, exciting industry to be a part of, because it's very, very agile. It's changing all the time, and that's exciting as an entrepreneur and as a business person. So why wait? I get asked all the time about when's the Mavic 3 coming out, when's the Phantom 5 coming out, when's the Inspire 3 coming out. Why not just crack on straight away? Okay. There's all these rumors going around on Facebook all the time. We see them, and it's a pain, because we're DJI Enterprise Gold partners. We get told when these drones are going to come out, and it's not going to be soon. I can tell you that. But we have so many people that say, oh, I'm just going to wait for that new Mavic, and then we'll go from there. Don't be that guy who's waiting, or don't be that person who's waiting. Let's just crack on. Let's just crack on and hit the ground running. We're here to help you and support you through that process. Yeah, let's just go for it. Right, so going on to the regulations then. I've mixed up the slideshow a little bit, so we'll start with this because it is a hot topic, and you can see it quite nice. If you're still following me, we're on slide 7 with that lovely picture of the brand new Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, which is, we're looking at dropping in March, end of March. There are going to be some huge bulk orders for large corporations for this, like the police, for example. So if a drone like this is of interest, do let us know. That's why we've got such a low deposit line for it, £250. So yeah, if you're interested in that drone, do let us know. Okay, so in terms of regulations, we've now got 3 things that we really need to look at in terms of sections. So we have, well, as a nice overview, the new regulations, what do they mean to you? It is all about risk. It is all about how you want to fly your drone and the weight of your drone. So low risk, medium risk, high risk. So straight away, if you're still with me on page 8 of the slideshow, certified category, which is the high risk category. Don't worry about this one. That's not for us to worry about, but these are the 3 sections. We need to be looking at the low risk and the medium risk. Low risk is the A2CFC course that I need to be looking at, and the medium, the specific category, is going to be like the GVC course or the PFCO for anyone who had that before, which is now going to be, everything is all about the operational authorization. Because before it was, look, I want to use a drone commercially, what do I have to do? You have to do the course and off you go. But because there's no commercial aspect anymore, it's now changed to an operational authorization. So in terms of the low risk, you're looking at lighter drones, not flying near uninvolved people, but you can get down to nice distances. Medium is for higher risk flights, so it might be congested areas. If you're looking to do beyond visual line of sight, extended visual line of sight, riskier flights essentially, you'll be looking at this area. Or if you have a heavier drone. If you're looking at, let's say, a Mavic, any of the Mavic series, they fit into the low risk. If you're looking at something like a Matrice, an Inspire 2, because that's a heavier drone, you'll be looking at the GVC level. Within our business starter packages, we have all the training. The new training will last for 5 years. You still renew every year as part of best practice and to update your operations manual. But essentially, because it's going to be there for 5 years, let's just tick the box. Let's do all the training, and that's going to essentially open up your avenues and what you can do in the future. So when we do get the return on investment and when we do make that step to the second drone, you don't have to come back and train. You've ticked that box and off you go. So we do have some more slides on the training. So I'll go into a bit more detail on that soon. But yeah, just to give you an idea, you've got low risk, so open category, which is the A2CFC. So A1, A2, A3. And then you've got your larger drones in the medium risk, the more riskier flights, essentially. Moving on from that. So this is a nice comparison on page 9. So for anyone who has a PFCO, this will kind of sum it up for you. It's very, very similar to what you did. So you've still got a theory test, still got an operations manual and a flight assessment, and that would give you that PFCO. We now renew that, and it will give you an operational authorization. And this is the new terminology that we'll have to come across with it and start using as well. Across the industry, we will get there. Everyone knows what the PFCO and the license or the authorization. We'll get there as an industry. So the theory's changed. It's no longer 64 questions. It's now just 40. The operations manual is more in depth. For those of you who have already done it, you'll know better than everyone else. But essentially, you'll go through a process. We'll give you a template with the examples in. Delete those examples, put in your own data, and it's a bit like a business plan. So what drone do I have? How am I going to use it? Where am I going to use it? What is my industry that I'm looking to get in? How many pilots do I have, for example? You'll send to us. We'll work through that and see what amendments you need to make to get it up to scratch. Send it back to you. You make those changes. Also, when you're doing that, you'll go back to us maybe 3 or 4 times. It might be 1 or 2 times, depending on how in depth your business plan is. It's completely down to you. After that, you've got your flight assessment. So before it's about an hour where you do some flying, whereas now you're kind of looking at 1 hour's flying, then you've got a bit of case study flying. You're still going to go through best practice, but we've purposely extended this to 2 hours, so you're getting more time with our experts. We got some really nice feedback on our training team, so the more time that you guys can spend with them, the better, essentially. But yeah, so theory, operations manual, practical. So if you go onto the next page, you're going to be able to see the GVC, which is on page 10 for anyone who's still managing to keep up in terms of the slides. Okay, and in terms of the just a question that's come through in terms of the operations manual review, we do charge for that service. It's normally £150 excluding VAT. With a lot of what we do with in terms of our GVC packages or our PFCO packages from last year, a lot of them did have a free review. So double check to see what your order was, if that's relevant for yourself, and get in touch. But yeah, essentially that process in a year's time, let's say, for example, we booked you on today, we went through the course. Every year, every 12 months, you have to update that. With the new regulations, what's a really cool little tactic that we've discovered is if you send your ops manual into the CAA 9 months after you complete the course and you've applied for your CAA authorization, that 3-month window gives you enough time to go through the process of updating it. Have they got any more pilots? Have they got any more drones under my wing? Pardon the pun. And essentially, it'll still count to that 12-month mark from when you applied originally. So be productive, get in touch with us early, and we can help you out with that in years, or let's say 9 months' time. We can help you out with that. So looking at the GVC on page 10, if everyone's still with me. And just a little FYI, this is really weird for me because I can't see any interaction so far. So I hope everyone's still there. I hope this is going well for everyone. But essentially, the GVC page on the little slide deck that got sent out, the GVC is very similar to the PFCO. It comes with our Ofqual Level 4. So once these courses went through, one of the things that held up us running the GVC was the fact that we have to get it signed off by Ofqual Level 4. Level 4 is a standard of learning. So level 4, some of you guys may know that is the same standard as foundation. So first year of university, HNC level, HND, that is level 4 standard. And that's the standard of our GVC courses. So within training, there's going to be 9 modules for you to work through. At the moment, it's all online, as I mentioned earlier. So you can crack on with that right away. Yeah, on paper, the GVC course will take us 3 days to do when we do it consecutively in person. But we understand everyone doesn't learn like that when it comes to working with the computer. It might be 3 hours stints, a few 3-hour stints, but realistically, it's taking people 2 weeks to 4 weeks to complete the course and get ready for that practical exam. But if you want to race through it and we can get the dates aligned for you, there's no reason why you can't do it in a few days. So, for example, my manager, we needed to get him through so he could do a demonstration. We couldn't find his form, so he quickly went through the process again. He did the theory in 1 day and did the practical on the second. He was absolutely frazzled, bless him, but it shows you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it in terms of storing that knowledge, and he is an expert in the field, but it shows that it can be done. And this online training, this Copters Academy, is there for you to manipulate however you want to. So you can crack on if you wanted to, but at the same time, look, we've got a lot of spare time on our hands at the moment. If you want to stretch out that training, again, that's absolutely fine. And you can do it for a couple of months. Yeah, completely down to you. With the training, you've got theory. So I mentioned you've got 9 modules there. In each module, you've got quizzes, you've got webinars to interact with, you've got videos to watch. There is obviously some text, but it's nice, short and snappy. Air law is a tough one, so we always throw that in first, get you in, hit the ground running, and then we'll go from there. It eases up from there. Once you go through that process, you've then got a mock test, which you can use as many times as you like. There's a chap that I worked with before Christmas who did it 16 times. That's absolutely fine. And it's just another example of how much you can take advantage of this online training. After you've done that, you'll go through to your operations manual and you'll touch on some best practice modules, the practical. With any of our courses that we do, we'll actually send you a Dropbox full of maneuvers for you to start practicing with your drone. So we're here to help you every step of the way. again, if you needed a bit more help, you wanted your hand holding, for example, get in touch with us. Most of the guys in the office, most of the team in the office have done the GVC, have done the PFCO, etc., etc. We know what you're going through. We know what things are good for you to practice. So just get in touch if you need to. And as I say, that practical is more of a 2-hour session. We've got 11 locations around the UK. So essentially, there's always going to be a course near you. Right, so next, just looking on to page 11, is just a really nice feedback from Ryan Hulse, who is one of our graduates from a couple of years ago now, graduated in 2009 from our courses. And he was one of the first guys to really inspire us to create this Copters Academy. So we had our PFCO, we had the odd specialist course, but it's all face-to-face, which is fantastic. And if anything, we do prefer that. But Ryan went through a process that kind of sparked an idea and helped us help everyone else. So yes, you might start with a PFCO like Ryan did. He had a Phantom 3. I wasn't too sure what to get into. He just straight out of college, but he just loved flying his Phantom 3, did a lot of sports coaching, football coaching, and thought of, well, I could go into analysis, football analysis. He then looked at getting tethered drones so he could stay in one place for a long time. We then upgraded him to a Parrot and Affy Thermal, which is a very versatile drone. It's the same drone that I used to do my PFCO with. Really, really nice drone, nice size, simple and easy to use. You've got thermal, visual, and zoom. Did that, and then we looked at the masterclass session with Steve, which was once every month. And then we had the Ofqual Level 5 course. Once Ryan completed the Ofqual Level 5, he then applied for a tender, and he won that. And off the back of the information that he learned on the Ofqual Level 5 course, he left us this really, really nice review. And Ryan's doing great. Inspection is one of those industries this year last year, that's really taken off, despite what's gone on in the world. So yeah, Ryan was a really nice bit of enthusiasm that we needed at Copters to help everyone else. So yeah, some people will just come and do the course and kick on, but again, it's having that experience in the industry and becoming a master at what we do. So yeah, and that's why we try to offer as much as we can. So I've got a couple of questions in terms of a state agency. Yeah, we are looking to do that. We have toyed with the idea already. So we're trying to do our best to put something together that's going to be of value to a lot of people. We do know this is a really nice place for people to start. But yeah, something like a Mavic Mini for a state agency is okay, but I'll be touching on drones a little bit anyway. Just a couple of questions that are coming through. Someone's just asking in terms of having a PPL. In terms of your regulations, yeah, a PPL meant you didn't have to do the theory. With the new regulations, there was a very, very recent update. You guys now have to do all of the training. So it doesn't matter what people's background now, we have to do all of the training. So yeah. But yeah, any of the questions, keep them fired in because my team are messaging me them. So I'll see what I can get through at the end of this as well. So moving on to page 12 for everyone, finding my sector. And this is, I don't want to use the word tricky. This is the fun bit, the interesting bit. And this is where we'll do a lot of experimenting. Having a drone like our business starter packages, our BSPs, or a Matrice, or anything that is a versatile drone, you can dip your toe into these different areas and see what you like doing, see what you don't, see where more money is, see where more personal value is for you. So for example, I've been speaking to a scout leader who is essentially doing a lot of volunteering, and he's looking for a mapping and observation drone, keeping it on a tight budget and seeing what's going to be best for him and his team. Surveying and inspection is and are the best and largest sections of the industry, especially in the UK. For anyone who's wondering, agriculture fits inside of surveying because of the GPS and that data capture from there. But yeah, agriculture is huge in America, in Canada, in parts of Asia as well. So loads of people are kind of scratching the surface with this. There's a lot of research going on in the UK at the moment. We're getting a few nurseries that are trying to touch base and and get some of the things going there. But again, I'll touch on that in a minute. Film photography is where this industry started, if not the military. But yeah, this is where it's more higher in terms of competition. There's more going on, but there's a lot more work as well, because that industry is aware of what drones can do. Whereas in most other industries, you will have to do a little bit of commercial teaching. And we can show you how to do that anyway. And that would be when you'd come back to, look, I've got this drone. I can save you time. I can save you money. I can make that process safer for those 5 guys that are on that cherry picker, that are doing rope access for that inspection, for example. And we'll show you how to do that anyway. So then, looking at drones, if you just skip to page 13. So going through and just essentially seeing what is going to be best for you. This is normally the exciting bit. A lot of guys and people getting into this industry, it is boys and their toys, if I'm being very honest. Drones are fun. This is the best bit of the job. The data capture, the actual flying bit. There's an energy when a drone kicks off. When you set it off on the landing pad, when the propellers start going, there's the buzz from the drone. You can hear the propellers. There's that friction against the air. And as that drone takes off, there's an energy. If you're doing a job on a construction site, you might be in the yard, and let's say all the fellas are outside watching, seeing what's going on with this drone that they've never seen before. Drones haven't been seen a lot in the industry. You may have seen them at the park, but not a lot of people have actually seen them in the industry being used for commercial reasons. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to get that excitement, for you to get that word of mouth and everything going. When that drone kicks up a bit of dust, drone flies up to 20 meters, you can wow your stage. You can wow everyone who's watching, and there is a great energy about it. If you can then knock them back and get some amazing data, even better. If you can save them time, if you can save them money, then we're on to an absolute winner. So in terms of drones, yeah, I've got 4 examples on this slide. So I've got the brand new, very recently released, which is the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. So that is mainly for inspection. It's now got RTK features to it. Amazing drone. Some of the details on it are phenomenal. Slightly different from DJI. They've moved away from the flare sensor, and by doing this, they've been able to keep the price down. So a direct competitor would be a Parrot drone, the Parrot USA. Again, another very, very powerful, smaller drone, but the price is slightly different. If you're looking at surveying, then the Phantom 4 RTK is going to be the best next step for you. All these examples of drones are in that second tier and that middle tier. So I class this as like the intermediate tier. Next, if you're looking at cinematography, if you're looking at media, you might start with the Mavic 2 Pro, but the drone you want to be aiming for is the Inspire 2, which is absolutely stunning to watch and fly, and the data it captures is just gorgeous. For anyone who watches Bob Mortimer and Phil Whitehouse, the Gone Fishing program on BBC One, they have loads of drone footage on there, and it's all Inspire 2. So for anyone who watches that, which is 1, hilarious, but 2, it is very, very, very well shot. Yeah, some amazing footage on there. So anyone looking at cinematography or media or photography, it would be the Inspire. Next, we've got agriculture. So we're getting a few kind of inquiries come through to this. A lot of universities are using this drone. It's been someone in terms of using it for vineyards in the UK. And some potato farmers as well down south. They're using this drone. How healthy is the soil? Is it being over or under fed? Does it need to be sprayed? Have we got the right pesticides amount on it? What level of germination are we at? What level of photosynthesis? And this drone can tell you all of this. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, but on that sensor, there are 6 different sensors within it that all measure different wavelengths and different bands. But yeah, really, really intelligent drone. And again, it comes with RTK functions, so you know exactly where it is. So that analysis is going to be absolute pinpoint. But yeah, these drones are just some examples. Just so happens that they're all DJI, who probably are industry leaders in the industry. But yeah, there's plenty of options moving forward. So next is, I've touched on it a little bit, the Matrice M300. So this is where we want to be aiming. So in the industry, we have 3 stages really. We have entry to enterprise, which is generally your Mavic series, your beginner Parrots, and that is a really nice start. You can get really nice data. You will be limited by some parts, but essentially that will get you into the industry. We can get that return on investment, and we can hit the ground running. Is what I was trying to say. Next, we have the 4 options that I've just gone through. So that intermediate range, and that's when we really start to push the boundaries of what data we can capture, what amazing stuff we can do. But then we have the specialist. So the ideal scenario is we get you to this stage through hard work, through marketing, through landing sales, through landing jobs. This is where I want to be aiming. So for anyone who's still with me, it's page 14, and that's the M300. One of the newest drones from DJI. Absolutely amazing. The things this drone can do it's just absolutely phenomenal. It's one of 3 drones that give me goosebumps. So what it can do is just phenomenal. We compare it to like the plow horse of the industry, pretty much do anything. Surveying, mainly made for inspection. But yeah, in terms of that presence that I mentioned earlier and that energy when you are on a location, when this drone is around, it hits different essentially. But yeah, this is where we want to be aiming for a drone service provider, for someone getting into the industry. Okay, so the business starter packages, what are they? What do they mean to me? These BSPs. So it is the drone, the software, the training, and ongoing support all bundled together in one place. So ideally, yes, Copters do supply the training. We do the software, do the specialist training, we do software training, flight training. You mention it, we can offer it, we can help you out with it. Even if it's helping you with your website, even if it's helping you with Photoshop, for example, get in touch with us. We can see what we can do. I've got plenty of guys who message me about their websites, some of the footage that they've taken, and I'll analyze it. I'll let them know. If it's not great, I'll let them know that they need to go back out there and get it to a higher standard. So yeah, get in touch. If you want that help, we're more than happy to give you that. So our business starter packages, we have 3 options. So the first option is the advanced thermal business starter package. This is the Parrot thermal. So again, like I said earlier, this is the drone that I used for my PFCO. Really nice to use, which is great when you go into the PFCO or the flight assessment, because it is a bit of a nervy scenario. So having a drone that you can rely on, that is really sturdy and powerful, is great. It doesn't have ATIA mode, so you don't have to do the flight assessment in that mode, and you would just do it in auto essentially. The drone was actually made for the military, for search and rescue. But because of its thermal, because it's visual, because of its zoom, is a very, very versatile bit of kit. So it means you can do inspection, you can do surveying, you can do visual, you can do media, etc., etc. So yeah, a really nice drone to get you into the industry. With this, it comes with all the training that you'll need to get started, all the business advice, all the support from Copters, and pricing for that is $2,795. Next is the advanced visual business starter packages. I do have some really nice videos of these, so if you are interested in these, have a little Google, let me know, drop me an email, and I'll send you some of them videos on some of the data that I can capture as well. But the Mavic 2 Pro is essentially pound for pound probably the most popular drone in the world because of what it can do. It's classed as a consumer drone, not quite enterprise level, but the data and what it can do is amazing. So yeah, 4K recording, 20 megapixels, 1-inch sensor. The Mavic 2 Pro is an absolute winner. And again, with all that business advice and development and support from Copters, all the training that you need to get yourself into the industry and tick those boxes. So next we have the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual. So again, it was made for search and rescue by DJI. It was their first drone that they had a flare sensor integrated with, so it was a direct collaboration. It's 4K recording, and it's got CMOS 1.23 sensor, and then the thermal is 160 by 120. So in terms of the drone, again, it's super versatile. It's got the same thermal camera as the Parrot. So in terms of that data, it's very simple. very easy to use. And again, it's that versatility. Giving yourself the power to say yes to jobs is great, especially when we're getting you into the industry. So yeah, we do want to be casting that net wide to start with, and kind of go from there. But having that option, being able to say yes, is so powerful, because we are going to look at different areas. Unless we have a specific idea in mind, we're going to be pushing you on as much as we can. So then, my top 5 tips in terms of getting that business started. What do you need to be doing? Loads of guys, well, everyone asks me really, what should I be doing? Like, I've done the training, I've done the theory, waiting for the CAA to get back to me, or they might even before they've started training. There's no reason to wait. And it's going back to that, when should I start the course, or when should I start doing it? My dad always used to say to me, DIN, do it now. And going through college or school, it's always like, oh, do you know, I'll do it tomorrow, or diet starts tomorrow, or I'll go to the gym tomorrow. DIN, do it now. Okay, so all these top 5 tips, start today. Even if you just inquire today, do something about it and hit the ground running. So first tip is create an Instagram business page, and then follow everything drone related and post at least once a day. So that might seem a lot, but it's not. This is an amazing social media platform, which is all about being visual. It's all about content. So yeah, if you've got a snappy little kind of description of what that image is, then by all means, that's fantastic. That might be funny, it might be witty, but this is an amazing platform for you to get images out, for you to get content out. When I used to do photography, my teacher said, look, for every good picture, you're going to be taking 20 bad ones. But that's 20 images that you're then going to have for you to get out. That's 20 days you can have in a row. You can have different themes. You can have different backgrounds. Take a picture of you flying a drone. Take a picture of the drone. Take a picture of the drone. Get the drone to take a picture of you while you're flying it. There's so many different ways you can do it and show off your amazing new kit, your amazing content. You could do a little teaser about a job that you've done, about a case study that you've done. You could post a review that someone's left you for doing a job. Use Instagram to reach out to people. You can use it as an online portfolio as well, which is really, really powerful. With everything going paperless at the moment, you can create a really nice, sleek design and portfolio online. It means you don't have to put as much effort into your website, for example. Which leads me on nicely to the website. Is it all up to date? Do you even have one? Let's put one together. So we should link it with Instagram. We should link it with our LinkedIn, get it on with Facebook. All these, it's all about capturing data. It's about capturing more people. It's about that. It's marketing. And these are your leads that you're going to be reaching out to. So we need that traffic, essentially. So if we can get them bouncing around all your different areas and get them looking through all your different content, then that's ideal. For anyone who doesn't have a website, I've been looking at Wix, WordPress, or Squarespace. I've also been recommended GoDaddy recently as well. So there are options out there. All of these are free of charge, but I quite like WordPress. I've got good experience with that. And I always say to people, look, when we're getting into the industry, we need to be making calculated risks going forward. So yes, we may invest in the drone and the training, but we don't have to invest in the software just yet or in the website just yet. Let's go with a free option, keep it basic, make sure it's very clear what you can offer and your services are. And then once you do get a bit of return on investment, once you do land that big job, we can maybe treat ourselves to a better standard of website, a different theme, a different display, and we can go from there. But these options are a really nice start for us to get going and just get the ball rolling. Okay, so next one is the best one. To quote Wolf of Wall Street, pick up the phone and start dialing. So set yourself a target, call those people. I've recently been quite refreshed with a couple of guys that I'm helping out getting started, and they're already making outbound calls. They're already making contact with people and just asking the question, look, I've got a drone. Would you be interested in this? This industry is so new. Not a lot of people have actually seen drones being used. So go teach them, go show them what your amazing drone can do, or just inquire. So I've mentioned a lot of drones here today, but even if you don't have that drone yet, you can still inquire. about that. Once you've done all your training, like your GVC, no matter what drone it is, you could probably go and fly it after you've done that training, get that insurance in place, and then off you go. So yeah, we can supply the drone. If you think there's an opportunity that you can take advantage of, you might want to write out, instead of getting paid in money, you might get paid in drone, for example, through that company. But yeah, 20 calls is a minimum. And that's for someone who's working full time as well. Just reach out to people, even if it's just 2 sets of 10 of the same familiar company. But yeah, you have to reach out. We need to get that conveyor belt of work coming in. So yes, having a great drone, work will find you, but you need to let people see the drone. You need to let people know that you've got a drone, get out flying, make those calls. It'll make it so much easier for you. Okay, so next one is that first win. That first job, that first flying under pressure with a client. This doesn't have to be for money. Don't worry about it. Throw yourself out there. When you get into something new, it's always scary. It's always a bit stressy. There's always going to be that sweaty period of, oh, I've not quite done this before, like your driving test, like your flight assessment. This is another reason why we've actually extended our flight assessment to 2 hours, to give you more chance to practice as if it was a case study. When you're getting into the industry, yes, we're in this to earn money, but the first one could be done for a case study, for a review, and we can use that to leverage other work. So for example, you might want to do a job for a friend. If you know someone who's got an outhouse, a barn house, something that you can do an inspection job of, a 3D model of, create case studies, get friends and family to leave reviews on your website, on your pictures, get them to hype you up on Instagram. Anything that's going to create more noise and get you noticed by more people is ideal. So yeah, that first win, don't worry about it not being money. I would even encourage you to not do it for money, just so you can get experience under your belt. And then you could even make an ally out of that person or that company. Say, look, I'm more than happy to work with you for this year. I can give you this data. I'm going to save you the money. I'm going to save you some time. And then you can use that elsewhere and use that as like your hub, and almost for practice as well. So last tip from these 5 is just to get out and get flying. So it's the classic 10,000 hour rule. For anyone who has a musical instrument, who has a hobby, who plays sport, the more you do, the better you are. The more confident you are, the more belief you have in your own abilities. We can see, well, when we used to do the face-to-face courses, on day 2 before the flight assessments, we can see who's nervous. We know who's not put the hours in. So for our flight assessments, we normally recommend that you do 10 hours flying, 5 to 10 hours flying before you do the flight assessment. Do 20, do 25, do 30 hours before you turn up. The more you do, the better you'll be. It really is simple as, if you play more Call of Duty, you're going to get better at it. For example, if you play more football, you're going to get better at it. At the moment, we can do 1 piece of exercise a day. If you go out and run 5K a couple of times a week, you're going to get better at it. So it's exactly the same with your drone. It's a little bit stormy outside today. It is quite windy, but as soon as there's a nice opportunity, get yourself outside and get flying. It's only going to help, I promise. So then just going on to slide 18, for anyone who's still about. Okay. So again, I've touched on this already, but anyone who is interested in a one-to-one, it's slightly different platform today, so I can't see everyone's comments or chats. But essentially, look, if you're interested in getting into this industry, or if you're on the fence or someone else has mentioned it to you, get in touch, drop me a message. It's jamie.cording@copters.com. Our marketing team will be sending you an email later with the slides, with a few things that's going on. But if you are interested and you would like a talk, a one-to-one talk, by all means, that's not a problem at all. But yeah, there's a lot of value in that. We might even find that this industry isn't quite for you, but let's just test the waters. Let's just see if it is, and if it's something that you could be interested in, and if we can make some money out of. So then I have got Q&A for the next slide. So I'm just going to see if I can get up some Q&A. Okay, so I've got a few questions coming in. from marketing from you guys. So I'll see if I can do. So questions that I've got so far then. So a question I've got is, I've answered the operations manual one. Yes, we do offer a service on this, and we'll do this normally every year. £150 excluding VAT. If you go through the training, we'll do that anyway. We'll help you through that process. I've been asked what drone for estate agency. Already got the Mavic Mini 2. Will this be okay for a start? Yeah, that drone is actually quite a good drone to have in your fleet at the moment. Because of the weight category, it means you can fly without a lot of training, and you can get close to a lot of things and people. The bigger the drone, the better the camera is normally the ratio that happens. So ideally for a estate agency, you want to be looking at Mavic 2 Pro or a Parrot Anafi. You're looking at around that 20 megapixel point. You can go bigger to like an Inspire, but realistically, a Mavic 2 Pro is absolutely, well, it is the best job drone for the job. Okay, so someone's asked, I have to admit, I'm off with the theory, but excellent with the practical. Is it worth going for my license? Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the theory, we get loads of guys that have not gone through training or not been to college in years, not done testing in years. We understand this, and we do prefer our training face-to-face, but our online training is great. It's very interactive. I've helped a lot of nervous people go through this, a lot of dyslexic people that are nervous about doing testing and going through it. And what if I fail? Don't worry, we'll help you out. And the course is very good. Like I say, you can do the mock tests as many times as you like. And a really good feature of our online training is that, say in 6 months' time, you're in the industry, you can pop back into the online training and see what that process is. If, say, you've forgotten how to set up safely with your safety kit, we can help you out with that as well. So yeah, just jump back into it and you can remind yourself. I love my Mavic Mini, but would buyers not be better off with the Mini 2 now? 4K camera, better focusing. Yeah, Mavic Mini 2 is obviously an upgrade. Both drones super popular. It is a good one to have in your arsenal. But again, if you can make that jump to a Mavic 2 Pro, that's normally the minimum standard of if you wanted to use a drone commercially. Okay, from a business point of view, how can we offer something people can't do themselves? Why would anyone, e.g. an estate agency, pay a drone pilot when they can buy their own to do it for their own footage or stills? Yeah, this is a great question. So why would they do it? Why would they sub out? Why would they contract out? We get this all the time. In terms of this, we have a thing in the office. I'd say office, we're all working from home. If an estate agency calls up and gets in touch with us, a lot of the time they don't go ahead. I'm not sure why. You're absolutely right. Whoever's asked this question, they can save a lot of time, save a lot of money. If they get someone from their office, they can off you go and they can take the picture while they're out there. They can get their photographer, but a lot of the time they contract in their photographers as well. They want to spend their time selling the houses, doing all the detail and the back of house stuff. So you can contract yourself in there. In terms of estate agency, it's not that hard in terms of the actual data that you're capturing. Normally it's just front and back. If you can get an aerial picture, ideal. We've all seen the standard of images from Purple Bricks or estate agencies' websites when you're looking at a new house. The standard isn't that high, so don't worry about it that much. But it's a good job to get you into the industry and get the ball rolling. But yeah, you're absolutely right in terms of that point. Why wouldn't they do it? But you can get into that scenario and say, look, I can do it, save you time, I'll do all the hard work for you. I really like the look of your business starter packages. However, I already have the PFCO GPC and A2 CFC and 2 drones. Do you produce custom packages for people such as me? Yeah, absolutely. So we have all these packages on the website, loads of different options. We actually have a growth package, which I'm about to announce to you as well. But essentially, we can strip down, we can build up any bundle. Whatever works best for you, we're going to do that. And essentially, that's what our one-to-ones are for. The more we converse, the more we have chats, the more we understand your situation, the better we can make that bundle, the more personal we can make it to you. If you're looking to get into surveying, straight away I'm thinking, okay, maybe a surveying course to give them that confidence, Pix4D so he understands the software. You might already have software. You might already have training in that area. So the more we get to understand, you don't need all that stuff. It might be more marketing help that you need. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. But yeah, good question. But yeah, essentially, if you've got an idea or if you have a different drone in mind, let us know and we'll build a bundle around you. But what I would say is drop me an email and we'll put a package together. If you're doing commercial work with a Mavic Pro, do you need to have the GVC license? No, you do not. You don't need the GVC, but we recommend you do. If you do the A2 CFC course, you're looking at about 5 hours training and a self-assessing practical assessment. You'll blink and you'll be done. So as I said earlier, when people did the PFCO, they will be nervous day 2 for that practical exam. Imagine going onto site and doing an inspection job after 5 hours of training and not even being ticked off by someone else to say that you're practically fit to fly. So it's one of those, you can, if you back your abilities and you think you're safe to do it, the A2 CFC is absolutely all you need for the Mavic 2 Pro. But realistically, let's be safe. It's all about risk. Drones are very, very dangerous. There's some awful videos of people that have caught their hands in blades, if they've hit people. When you're in the industry, you're going to be representing us. So we need to know that we've trained you to a high standard and that you're being safe in the industry. So this is why the GVC is always in our business starter packages. We're always going to recommend it because then we know when you're in the industry and we've trained you to that level 4 standard, we can relax a bit. But yeah, on paper, and this is a really good question because on paper, you only need the A2 CFC, depending on how you want to fly it from the outset. So yeah, we could go from there. Okay, I can see we're almost at 3, but I'm going to try and get through these as best I can. I would love to know how much certain jobs would generate, business plan needs and basic info. Can you help in that? Yes, absolutely. In terms of these one-to-ones, again, we're going to go into that in more detail. We can look at what industry is going to be best for you. Top end, for example, the Mavic 2 Pro, which has been asked a few times in the questions today. We have a Daniel Hughes pack, or the Ultimate Photography Package. Dan has been working in the industry for a few years now. We're going to be doing a webinar with him very, very soon, and he is earning up to £2,000 per job from the Mavic 2 Pro, which is more than what the drone is actually worth. We have mirrored a package off the back of what he's using because he is doing so well. Sometimes you don't need the biggest, but obviously having the biggest does really help as well. But in terms of the industry, depending on what area we're looking at, for example, surveying and inspection, if you're investing in a big drone, you're going to get better data, which means you can get that return on investment faster. A government survey back in November 2019 said you can earn anywhere up to £67,000 a year. That is a couple of years old now. We have a few guys on our books that are doing very, very well from this industry. And look, the sky's the limit. Pun aside, this is an exciting industry where there's huge tenders getting thrown out left, right, and center. Why not be the person to get into it and take advantage? So yeah, the sky's the limit. It really, really is. So I'd say get in touch, and I can go into more detail of the different sectors and what they can do for you. 3D photogrammetry software. There's a question on that. It has to be Pix4D. There are some other options. There always are, but Pix4D. Our in-house surveyor swears by it. I've done the training. It nearly broke my computer. So yeah, you do need a good laptop for it. You need a good processor. But essentially, yeah, Pix4D is just phenomenal. It's so transferable. If you're working with AutoCAD or let's say Google SketchUp, which is free, anything in between, the software will work with it. It's great for data capture, great for the analysis. Yeah, absolutely spot on. And that's why we stick by them. How worthwhile are places like Drone Safe Register? Yeah, absolutely spot on question. It's good that you're doing that research to look at these different areas. They will give you different territories, different areas to work in. They can be quite limiting, but they can also give you jobs as well. So some people use it as like a kind of a bit of a conveyor belt, get the work in to start with, and then they leave and then go from there and grow it like that. It's a good way to do it. And some people will just rely on it as well. It works for people in different ways. Some people haven't got a return from it at all. I would say, like I do in my top tips, just get out and speak to people. Just get out and speak to people. Just crack on and do it. So yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. It works for different people. Yeah, one of those. Okay, so is reaching out to companies with cold calling really the only way to get work? I've always hated sales, and it's not just for me. Is my drone pilot career? No, so we're not going to be looking at just cold calls. We want to make it as warm as possible. So that's why we need to make noise. This is why we need to invite people to what we're doing. If you're doing a job, you might want to invite a few different investors or a few different companies to come down and see what you can offer them. So yes, there will be some cold calling aspects, especially to start off with, but the older this industry gets, the more opportunities there are online. So 12 months ago, if you had Googled a UAV job, there wouldn't be anything. There was no sites of it. Whereas now, it's advertised in a lot more places. The industry is new. The guys that are in it don't really want to share the gold. And who would? If you're already in it and earning money, why would you want to share that information? There is a split of, it's about 50-50 at the moment. So people that are working in-house to contractors at the moment. But essentially, yeah, just crack on and get out there, and we can show you different marketing tools and different ways to get your name out there. Like Facebook marketing, for example, the amount of time people are spending online on social media platforms. Get yourself out there, get your face out there. So yeah, don't worry, it's not just cold calling, but I do see your point. Which course would I need to start? Estate agent and surveying with the Mavic Mini 2. I'd look at doing the A2 CFC, but because of the weight category of the drone, it would just be the operator and flyer ID. Have you ever worked on film sets? Do you offer training for working with actors? Does it require regulations? Okay, so yeah, you would put risk assessments in place, and this is something we'll teach on the GVC. All about risk assessments, all about the risk, all about the safety, how you're going to fly the drone, what is under your control. So essentially the drone, it's all about being safe and just going through that process. So what is best practice? And you'll do this on your flight assessment, essentially. And we'll show you how to do that. But in terms of film sets, you'll have different public liability. And obviously, if you're working with actors, their insurances are going to be really, really high. It's the same for football analysis. So, for example, a really popular example is Marcelo, who plays for Real Madrid. He loves drone footage. He loves that analytics, all that data from his game, and he loves the drones. So that's really made it popular in Spain for the use of drones for football. But obviously, the insurances are really, really high for Real Madrid because they're such expensive players if something goes wrong. So it's all about doing the risk and assessing that risk. Okay, so someone else has asked, looking to buy an Inspire 2 with the X5S lens, can you create a training package around this, please? Yes, again, anything that you guys are looking at, we can bundle that up together. We're DJI Enterprise partners, so pretty much anything we can bundle up. Any other questions, guys? I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Any other questions, give me a shout. I've mentioned my email quite a few times today, so jamie.copters, jamie.cording@copters.com. If you are interested in one of those one-to-ones, which I really do recommend, probably not for this week, it'll be for next week now. because I've seen a few people email in already, which is fantastic. Let me know. We'll have a really good chat, sit down over coffee, and we can go from there. What I will say is, as part of joining the webinar, and as a thank you because of the last minute little switch over that we've done, we're going to do a bit of an offer. It's not going to go anywhere. Only you guys are going to get emailed about it. So essentially, you'll do your GVC. You might go for a business starter package, but that next step, we've got a really nice package for you. And like I say, it's not going to be posted anywhere, only to you guys as a thank you for shuffling over to the YouTube. So it's going to include the surveying course, the Pix4D course, the Off-Call Level 5 course, 1 year's use of Ava, and our ultimate safety kit. So all of that, which is normally over £2,200, we're going to do it for £1,490. So it's a huge chopping save discount. It's essentially getting your level 5 for free. And your level 5 is like, that's what we get our trainers to do before they start teaching the PFCO or the GVC, to make sure they're working at level 5 standard. So yeah, huge offer. Only you guys are available to do it. There's a few guys who've asked about different bundles. Get in touch and I'll see what I can do, put some prices together for you. Thank you massively for joining me today. I can feel my voice is going a little bit now. I hope everyone is safe and well at the moment. But yeah, in terms of any offers, any questions, get in touch and we can go from there. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much for joining me.